Once upon a time, there was a wolf. The wolf was mischievous and had ruined the lives of many people, animals, and things alike. Though the very first victim of the wolf was a samurai. Though this samurai had a very unfortunate backstory. One day, the unfortunate samurai set out to sell wood by the marketplace and said goodbye to his parents, though little did he know the wolf had came into his house and attacked and killed as well as massacred his entire family and left, leaving a long and ravenous trail of blood behind him. 1 hour later, Samurai returned home mortified at the death of his parents, so he decided to put on his gear and set out on the quest of vengeance, knowing too well who had committed the murder. This was the first and most horrific thing that Wolf had ever done. This is what had set Samurai on a mission for revenge. But first, he needed to build a team from the ground up. The first two potential recruits Samurai had met along the way were Ladybug and Meerkat. The two were both known for their terrible relations with Wolf due to the terrible things Wolf had done to them. Though, when Samurai confronted them with the matter and shared his story, the two were more than happy to open up and share their own. So, in that light, Ladybug had started with her story.
One day, I was roaming around the forest, and before I knew it, Wolf started chewing on my leg and eventually bit it clean off.
Wolf and Ladybug then began to fight a bit longer before, in a few moments, Wolf left the scene. Though, obviously, not without traumatizing Ladybug for life. Though Ladybug's story was indeed bad, Samurai felt that he had it even worse. Though before Samurai had enough time to process the story correctly, Meerkat had begun to speak of the bad Wolf had done to him.
One day, Wolf decided to break into my home, destroy it, and steal a bone, which was my most important possession at the time.
Wolf kept barking and fighting with Meerkat, and Meerkat had no choice but to back off and let Wolf run away with his bone. Of course, this made Meerkat sad, but he had no other option. What horrific stories, Samurai had thought to himself, though he had it a lot worse. I mean, Wolf did murder, or should I say, slaughter his entire family after all. Though because Meerkat and Ladybug had shared similar experiences and likes and dislikes as him, he had thought it would be in his best interest to recruit them, and they set off on their mission of vengeance. The next possible recruitment the three had come across on their way was a sentient vehicle that was unknown to them. They'd never seen it before, though he called himself Car, and he shared a very similar experience to them, and he was very eager to share this experience with them. And the story goes something like this. Car was just minding his own business, driving along the path road when he came across Wolf. Wolf, looking desperate, Car had offered him an opportunity to jump in the back and allow him to ride with him along the road. Though this is when Wolf had decided to take advantage of Car. And though it wasn't as bad as the other three's experiences, it could still, should I say, leave a hole in your pocket.
After the ride was over, Wolf just jumped out and ran away without paying, never to be seen again.
Car was really upset with this, though, while pondering over what Wolf had just done, he was unfortunately unable to catch up with Wolf along the road. Shaking his head, he set off. With less money in his pocket, of course. After a somewhat extensive talk over, the car had agreed to join the samurai, meerkat, and ladybug's crew and their mission for vengeance against the wolf. And so they set off to sea to find their next ally, though this ally was actually a friend of the samurais. His name was Jellyfish, and therefore the four took the boat to find the jellyfish. 4 days later, the sea had been rough and harsh for the last couple of days, but luckily the samurai's trusty boat managed to protect them for the weeks they were traveling by sea. Or should I say days, though it did feel like weeks. Sooner or later, they were bound to reach their destination. Though, why was this jellyfish so special? Well, we'll find out soon enough. 1 week later. This time, it really was weeks that they were traveling by sea, though now they had finally reached their destination. And who might they have found? Well, Jellyfish, of course. Jellyfish once again shared a similar experience to the rest of the crew, and he was also really eager to share his story. Though this story might be a bit of a weird one, should I say. And then Jellyfish began to tell his tale. The gist of it was that Jellyfish was minding his own business when Wolf came on board and decided to pee on Jellyfish. A bit of a weird one, I know, but this convinced the rest of the crew to allow Jellyfish to join their group, and they were now off back to the forest to engage in battle with the wolf. The next day, the time had come for Samurai to battle it out to the death with Wolf. But before this, he wanted to understand Wolf's motive behind killing his parents.
He made me the way I am. He did this to me.
The wolf said this in normal, twisted bad guy fashion. But the funny thing is, he was pointing at Jellyfish. The samurai, astonished, said, Jellyfish? But why? What did you do? Jellyfish then replied, as calm as can be, with a simple yet deep phrase.
It's just the circle of life.
Astonished by what Wolf and Jellyfish had to say, Samurai pondered over it for a bit, though after thinking and thinking, he realized that he has a mission, and that this may be his only opportunity to ever avenge his family and make them proud. So therefore, Samurai stepped onto the battlefield and decided to fight it out with Wolf. The crew were happy, Samurai was happy, his family had been avenged, and Wolf will no longer bother any other animals. Though the real question is, who is the bad guy in this story? And will Samurai really recover and be the same after the story has concluded? Well, that's something for you to think about. This is The Howling. Thank you for watching.